What's up, guys? We are back with a full NBA slate here on Friday, November 1st. We're going to break down every game and look at bets on the side and over-under, and I'll throw some player props in the pinned comment for tomorrow for the national TV game. So buckle up, we have a great video for you tonight. Thursday did not go the way we wanted to, guys. It looks like the books were right there on the Jets, having them as favorites in this game. It makes sense. They got the win. We did hit on Joe Mixon at 90-plus rushing yards, and Garrett Wilson had a big night, so we hit those. But other than that, guys, a pretty rough night out there on Thursday. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that, just like we're getting rid of all this Halloween candy. We're going to hop back in here and try to find some wins out there on Friday. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments absolutely warms my heart. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL, and MLB season just came to an end. We've got college basketball right around the corner. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into game one. We have the Boston Celtics going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Celtics, guys, they come into this game looking pretty good. I mean, they're 4-1 in the season, but they are fresh off of their first loss of the year. They lost 135-132 in a crazy, crazy game there against the Indiana Pacers. Boston is healthy coming into this game. We do see that, Sam Hauser may or may not be playing in this one. I don't think that is necessarily a huge deal. In that loss against the Pacers, we really didn't see Boston play their normal level of defense. Tatum had a big night shooting the ball, only 5 of 18 from 3 isn't ideal, and the Celtics only shot 33% from deep as a team. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough for them to win those games, and they have a rough night from 3, but they were right there. They had a chance down the stretch, just eventually came up short there in overtime, thanks in large part to Siakam knocking down a pretty clutch 3. The defense for the Celtics wasn't really there, like I was just saying. They did get out-rebounded in this game, but not by a massive margin. They only had 14 turnovers in an overtime game, so, pretty clean stuff overall. They just didn't really seem like they had it there, didn't have the normal shooting touch we're used to seeing. So we'll see what they can do here in a bounce back spot going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who come into this game 2-2 on the season. They just got a win last time out, guys, taking down the Toronto Raptors 138-133, so a very high scoring game there. Obviously, Charlotte comes into this one not healthy, guys. Brandon Miller still out, Mark Williams still out. We'll see when we eventually get them back on the floor, but there's no reports showing that it's going to be for this game. In that win over Toronto, guys, we saw big things there from just kind of everyone, and the bench really went nuts there. Martin and Mann both looking great off the bench, 25 and 27 points respectively. Charlotte absolutely shot the lights out in that game, making 20 of 45 threes. Yeah, that's almost 45% from the field. They didn't look that great on the glass. They got out rebounded in the game. Not an amazing rebounding team in general, so that's something to monitor, but really just a crazy, crazy hot shooting night there for, Charlotte, especially their bench guys. So we'll see if they're able to, do anything similar to that here against the Boston Celtics. The odds makers, they've got the Hornets getting 11 points in this game. We've got an over-under of 231.5. Boston, they're 3-2 against the spread. They are 3-2 to the over. Charlotte, 2-2 against the spread and 2-2 to that over-under. First up, guys, I definitely think this is a spot you want to look at as a bounce back here for Boston. So taking them minus 11 makes a good amount of sense to me. In terms of the over-under here, 231.5 isn't that crazy high of a number. It's not a tiny number, don't get me wrong, but with two teams that love to shoot threes, I do think you could definitely shade a little bit towards the over here, although Charlotte probably in for something of a down shooting night, especially going up against such an elite defense. So really my favorite play on this one is going to be the Celtics to get the dominant win. I'm not super interested in that over-under. Next on the docket, guys, we are looking at the Orlando Magic going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers in our first nationally televised game of the night. The Magic are 3-2 on the season, but man, it's been a little bit rough. Some pretty bad news there. We see Paolo Banchero going to be out with a torn oblique. They lost their last game 102-99 there against Chicago, but I don't even think that really matters right now. The real questions are, the ones surrounding their two best players, Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. Yeah, Paolo, guys, a torn, not just, messed messed up a torn right oblique. He's going to be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. He's not going to be back in 4 to 6 weeks, guys. Absolutely no way that's happening. So we'll see what happens. He's a young guy. Maybe he can heal quickly, but he is going to be out for quite some time. So we're going to have to see how the, Orlando Magic can handle his absence. It's not going to be easy. They're going to need Franz Wagner to step up in a big way. He is technically questionable for this game. He's dealing with an illness. He's, tried to fight through it. He did play there against the Bulls. Didn't play amazing, I won't say, but yeah, fought his way through 23 minutes. Just very limited there. Going to be a little bit depleted if he is out there. So yeah, got to keep a very close eye on that. Not obviously an ideal situation there for the Orlando Magic, having a rough time right now. But this is a team with some good depth. I mean, Mo Wagner can come in and play some big minutes. Jonathan Isaac could play some bigger minutes. Gary Harris is a veteran coming off the bench. Anthony Black could do some big things. We know Cole Anthony is more than capable. So this is a squad that's got some depth. I mean, Jalen Suggs, KCP, they can step up. So definitely enough, guys out there, enough bodies to make up for these absences. But it is certainly not going to be easy, and certainly not something that this team was hoping to see. I mean, in their game against the Chicago Bulls, they ended up taking a loss there, which, fairly understandable given the circumstances. And the Bulls are a little bit more feisty of a team than a lot of people want to give them credit for. But yeah, just got to be a big blow to see your best guy go down there. And he had 31 points in his last game, but rough stuff to see him go down with an actually torn oblique. And the Magic had a terrible shooting night. That was the main reason they lost against the Bulls. So we'll see what they'll be able to do here in this matchup, going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are red hot. They're 5-0 on the season. They're coming off of a blowout win there over the Lakers, winning 134-110. Absolutely dominant stuff in that game. Cleveland still fully healthy coming into this one, so 5 games into the season, no injuries for them. Lots and lots of positive things here for the Cavaliers. You have to feel great about how they played against LeBron and Bronny there in their homecoming game in Cleveland. We saw, dominant stuff there from Mobley, which has been a great development. He seems like he's back on track. We saw Donovan Mitchell play well. Darius Garland kind of took a backseat, but did have 10 assists in the game. Jared Allen continues to dominate in there, 17 rebounds and 20 points in the game. Transcendent game from him. And we've got LeVert coming off the bench doing big things as well. So loving what we're seeing from the Cavaliers coming into this game. And looking at the numbers, Cleveland is minus 7.5 for this one. We've got an over-under of 217. Orlando 2-3 against the spread, 4-1 to the over. Cleveland 5-0, still undefeated against the spread this season, and 3-2 to the over as well. In terms of the over-under here, guys, of only 217, I do lean a little bit here towards the over. I think we'll get over that number pretty comfortably. I do worry about the Magic's offense here going up against a decent Cleveland defense, but they tend to play high-scoring games, so definitely like over this very small number of 217. In terms of the side, guys, I really wanted to be on the Orlando Magic plus 7.5, but this is just not a big enough number, first of all. Second of all, Cleveland's playing out of their minds right now. And third, if Franz Wagner is out, this team is really going to lack the horses to keep up here with the Cavaliers, who are just absolutely on fire right now. So give me Cleveland here at minus 7.5. I think they get the job done pretty comfortably here at home. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. First of all, this is a great time to sign up at stumpthespread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering NFL, NCAA football, NBA, NHL, UFC, and Major League Baseball. If you just want to test out the service, a great way to do that is by joining our free email list, which will get you the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new, and become a channel member for early access to all of our NFL and NCAA football videos. Also, if you want to experience peer-to-peer sports betting while paying almost zero juice, click the link in the description and sign up at BetOpenly.com. Now guys, back to the games. Next on the docket, we've got the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons. The Knicks come into this game 2-2 on the season. Their last time out, they did get a nice win there at Miami, winning 116-107. So good stuff there. They've played a pretty tough schedule here to start the season, and they're starting to get, some easier opponents in there. They're going to be taking on the Detroit Pistons, and this one has to feel nice to take a small step down there in competition. So we'll see how things go for the Knicks in terms of their injury report. We do see Karl Anthony Towns on there. Obviously, Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson still going to be out. Cat comes into this game, guys. He is dealing with a sprained left wrist, so at least this is a left wrist. That's going to help a little bit. He's technically questionable for this game, so gonna have to keep a very close eye on the availability. He did score 44 points against Miami, an absolutely dominant game from him, so we'll see how things progress here heading into game day for this one, but keep a close eye there on the availability of Cat. Other than that, though, guys, the Knicks are fully healthy for this game, so that has to feel pretty good. And they're coming off a nice win, that 116-107 win there over the Heat, which Cat went nuts. So I do expect him to play in this game the vast majority of the time, thanks in large part to Cat, who went 5 of 6 from deep. The Knicks shot the ball really well from long range, 18 of 40. That's why they won this game, and hopefully their shooting is going to be a little bit back online. They didn't play very good defense, I have to say that, so we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Pistons, who come into this game 1-4 on the season. They're fresh off a win, a 105-95 win there over the Philadelphia 76ers in Tobias Harris's return home kind of game, so we'll see if that means anything. The Pistons going to be without Asar Thompson for this game, but other than that, looking pretty healthy in that win there over the 76ers. Tobias Harris, 18 points, probably his best game there for the Pistons so far, but he has not been very good. We saw the bench look decent there for Detroit. We saw good stuff from Cunningham and Ivy. Those are the two main guys you want to see playing well if you're a Pistons fan, and things are pointing in a good direction, but Cade really has to work on those turnovers. That has certainly been a problem here, and looking at the numbers of this game, we see the Pistons are getting 6.5 points playing at home. We've got an over-under of 217.5. The Knicks, 2-2 against the spread, 2-2 to the over-under. Detroit, 3-2 against the spread, and 4-1 to the under themselves. Guys, this is a very, very tough call here, especially since we don't know about the availability of Cat. I'll give you my lean either way. Basically, if Cat plays and this stays at 6.5, I think we want to take the Knicks here to get the winning cover. If Cat does not play and this stays at 6.5, I think we want to go with the Pistons here, getting 6.5 points. It's, tough to know. Keep an eye on that pinned comment. Keep an eye on that injury report. In terms of the over-under here of 217.5, seems like a pretty small number, but Detroit tends to play some lower scoring games, and that's going to kind of hinge on Cat's availability as well, because I think the Knicks very likely to end up in a low scoring slugfest there if he's not available, but if he does play, I think the over has some good value on this game. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Sacramento Kings going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Kings come into this game, guys, they're 2-2 on the season, so not necessarily having an amazing time. They have won their last 2 in a row, but when your wins are coming against teams like Utah and Portland, it's not really something I'm going to be trying to celebrate about too hard. They lost their first 2 games of the season, a very close one at the Lakers. It could have definitely gone either way, and a very close game against the Timberwolves, so it's not looking like the Kings are necessarily too far off from the competition. In terms of their injury report, things are looking very, very clean. No one important really to be worried about there. Very healthy so far, at the start of the season here for the Kings. In terms of their last game, that win over the Jazz, they won 113-96, so nice to see a relatively easy win. Sabonis went off for 28 points. We saw De'Aaron Fox shoot the ball pretty well and score 19 points. Nobody on the bench really, super duper wowed me. Malik Monk actually had a terrible shooting night and cost us a player prop there, but other than that, guys, just a very solid, pretty good game. I mean, DeRozan went 9 of 14 from the field for 20 points and 8 assists in the game, so seems like everybody's starting to gel a little bit there, for the Sacramento Kings. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks, who are now 2-3 on the season. They're coming off a tough loss. They lost back-to-back games there against Washington. They've now lost 3 in a row after winning their first 2 games of the season. The Hawks straight up not having a great time right now, guys. I mean, losing back-to-back games against the Wizards, it doesn't really get more embarrassing than that. We see DeAndre Hunter and Dyson Daniels out for this game. Bogdanovich is out for a while. Cody Buffkin is out. This team is far from at full strength, guys. This is not what this roster was designed to look like, and if things don't get a little bit closer to back to normal, I don't know, they're going to be in a pretty deep hole. So we'll see what they can do in that loss against the Wizards, guys. I mean, we saw Trae Young try and do everything he could, but only 4 of 13 from deep. That's going to be rough. He did put up 35 points, but also a negative 16 plus-minus rating. Nobody necessarily went nuts off the bench. In terms of the rebounding battle, they did have a significant edge, but it did not translate into a win. They only turned the ball over 15 times. It's just looking, guys, like this team is not very good. So yeah, looking at the numbers for this game, the Hawks are getting 6 points at home. We've got an over-under of 237.5. Sacramento 1-2-1 against the spread, 2-2 to the over-under. Atlanta, they are 0-5 against the spread this season. They are 5-0 to the over. So looking at these numbers, guys, I think this is a spot we probably want to go with the Kings here. It is not what I want to be doing here, going with a road favorite, but yeah, I just cannot be on the Hawks side right now. Only 6 points does not feel like enough. I know Sacramento doesn't play amazing defense necessarily, but I think it's plenty to slow down the Hawks. And yeah, Sacramento Sacramento should be in for, another good shooting night. Atlanta, not a very good defensive team, and guys like Malik Monk definitely in something of a bounce back spot here. So give me the Kings -6 in this game. In terms of the over-under of 237.5, I think we want to slide slightly towards the over, as we're going to see plenty of offense in this game, but that number's starting to creep up. I don't know if that's a spot that I'm super interested in there on the over-under. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls. They're going on the road here to take on the Brooklyn Nets. The Bulls come into this game, guys, they're 3-2 on the season. They are fresh off of a 102-99 win there over Orlando. So very, very solid stuff there. They did with that without Lonzo Ball. They, not a terrible win there. I mean, taking down the Orlando Magic, beating the Memphis Grizzlies, also looking like a nice win. Their win over Milwaukee, maybe not as impressive, but this is a team that's starting to find some reason here for optimism. They come into this game with some pretty important injury considerations, guys. Like I said, Lonzo Ball out, but Zach LaVine is also on the injury report. He's listed as questionable due to a sprain of his left shoulder. So at least it's not a shooting shoulder. As somebody who's been dealing with a sore shoulder here for quite a while, at least it's my left shoulder. I went and played basketball today, and I gotta tell you guys, that does certainly make a difference. And given the line we're currently seeing, it seems like the odds makers do not think Zach LaVine's going to play in this game, because right now Brooklyn is -2. So if they don't have Zach LaVine, that's going to be pretty unfortunate. I will see big numbers, big, not necessarily numbers, but big minutes plays there for Sumu. So yeah, that'll be important. Josh Giddey's scoring will have to step up. Kobe White's going to be asked to do a lot, and so will Vujacic. So we'll see how this thing goes if Zach LaVine sits out, but definitely keep a close eye here on the injury report. Zach LaVine, in my mind, falls into the tough as nails category, so he is going to be doing everything he can to go out there and play this game. So we'll see if that happens as they go on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets, who are 2-3 on the season. They come into this game fresh off of a 119-106 win there over Memphis. So very solid stuff there. At least slightly surprising thing to see the Nets win that game. They come into this one with a pretty clean, injury report. Obviously, Bogdanovic is not going to be playing in this game. We don't know when he's necessarily going to be back, but he's currently out, and I don't really think they need to be, hustling him back for any reason. This is not a team that's designed to win now, although they're doing some winning, guys, and a lot of that is thanks to Cam Thomas, but Dennis Schroeder is the one who went off against Memphis. He put up 33 points. He was 11 of 14 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3, which is pretty crazy numbers there for Schroeder. Generally speaking, guys, just a really good game. I mean, we saw Wilson and Williams. That duo looked really, really good off the bench, posting a +25 and +11 scoring differential. Brooklyn won this game despite shooting only 36% from 3. They had 34 rebounds against the Grizzlies' 38 rebounds, so getting slightly out-rebounded there. They had no answers for Jared Jackson Jr., but did a good job. I mean, you're seeing Marcus Smart getting injured, kind of helps them out a little bit, but Ja had a weak shooting night against them as well. So, yeah, just pretty good stuff there for the Brooklyn Nets. So, looking at the numbers of this game, the Nets are -2. We've got an over-under of 225.5. Guys, I don't think we're going to see Zach LaVine in this game, or at least that is what the spread is currently indicating. This is a weird game. A lot of health considerations. In general, I'm going to be siding a bit towards the Bulls on the points, but not really a spot I love. I like much more in this game. I like that over 225.5. I think we'll see plenty of offense in this game, really regardless of who's going to be playing. Neither team plays much defense out there, and yeah, both teams showing some slight trends towards the over. Definitely give me over 225.5 in this game. Jumping in with our first ever sportsbook ad, guys, and I am super excited to tell you about BetOpenly. They are unlike any regular sportsbook out there. Their whole goal is to facilitate peer-to-peer betting, so instead of them having a vested interest in you winning or losing your bet, they just want to match you up with a real person who wants the opposite side. At BetOpenly, you will be paying drastically reduced juice on your bets, close to 1% instead of the 10% you would pay at any of the big guys. Not having to fight that built-in house edge sounds pretty great to me. BetOpenly supports all your favorite bets, including props and parlays, and get this, guys, you can even be the house on parlays, meaning you only need a single leg to win to cash your bet. Most importantly, BetOpenly will never limit your account for being a consistent winner, which is something that happens all the time on the bigger sites. If you're interested in signing up, click the referral link in the description of this video and let's cash some bets. Now, guys, back to the games. Next on the docket, guys, we have the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road to take on the Toronto Raptors. The Lakers come into this game 3-2 on the season. They're fresh off of a blowout loss there at Cleveland as they continue this 5-game road trip that they're on right now. The Lakers have not exactly what I would call a clean bill of health, although I'm not going to get too worried about Anthony Davis being on there. It seems like he's pretty much always on the injury report, and he is technically probable for this game, so I'm expecting him to play no problem. D'Angelo Russell is dealing with a back issue. He is also listed as probable for this game, so I'm expecting to see both of them out there and good to go for this one. But definitely keep an eye on that. Obviously, always a little bit of a concern and something worth looking at, especially when you got the Lakers. And, in their last game, not a great one, a 110 to 134 loss. Obviously, all the, cool stuff about Bronny making his first NBA points and LeBron and Bronny playing together in Cleveland. Like, yeah, that's cool. You guys got blown out by 24, though, so that's not a great look. Anthony Davis had another big game, 22 points, 13 rebounds, good stuff from him. LeBron, another okay game. I mean, 26 points, nothing wrong with that. He was good out there. He did have 6 turnovers, which is really the problem there, and we saw Austin Reeves have a pretty mediocre game with 4 turnovers of his own and only 7 points. So, yeah, pretty weak stuff. We did see Bronny come in and score his 2 points and post a -2 out there in 5 minutes of work, so that's not great. Gabe Vincent not looking like the boost that this team was hoping for. Just not finding a lot of positives here for this roster. I mean, Connect did have his best game so far this season, putting up 18 points, but he was, a -11 there in the plus-minus. So significant question marks here for the Lakers. But the good news is they're going on the road here to take on the Toronto Raptors, who not having the best time this season, 1-4 overall. They're coming off of a 138 to 133 loss there at Charlotte. And more important than that, guys, we see Scotty Barnes going to be out for multiple weeks there with that, his broken face, unfortunately. Emmanuel Quickly still missing time, guys. He is dealing with his pelvis injury, and he is listed as doubtful for this game. So seems pretty unlikely that we're going to see, 2 of the best 3 players there for the Toronto on the floor in this one. Kelly Olynyk's still out. Bruce Brown's still out. This is not a full-strength team. This is also not a team that's trying to win right now. So, yeah, gonna be interesting to see who they run out there, but not really expecting big things from the Toronto Raptors as they kind of continue to tank out this season. I mean, yeah, losing 133 to 138 against the Hornets in a game where, we saw Grady Dick score 30 points. That's cool. RJ Barrett put up 31 points, but do we expect that kind of production here going up against an actual NBA team like the Lakers? Seems like a big ask to me. Looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we see the Raptors are getting 8 or 8.5 points at home. We got an over-under of 228. The Lakers are 4-1 against the spread. They are 3-2 to the over. Toronto is 4-1 against the spread. They are 4-1 to the over. So in terms of the over-under, guys, I think we want to be looking at over 228. The Lakers, they play some high-scoring games. They're not the best defensive team. They're also not the worst in terms of the side in this game. Both teams really good against the spread this season. Toronto plus 8.5 is a bit appealing, but the Lakers are in a bounce-back spot here, guys. So this is kind of a pick-your-own-adventure situation. If you think LeBron and company really are going to have a nice bounce-back night and are really going to play some defense here against Toronto, I think you probably want to be on the Lakers, and that's kind of the side that I'm on as well. I think Toronto is, having their big game after they saw their star go down, that kind of situation, but I don't think we're going to see them, really bounce back in a good way in this one. So go ahead and give me the Lakers here at -8 and give me over 228. Next on the docket, guys, we got the Indiana Pacers going on the road here to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pacers are 2-3 on the season, so not having an amazing time, but they come into this game fresh off of their, absolute best game of the season, a 136 to 132 win there over the Boston Celtics. The Pacers come into this game with Nembhard and Miles Turner both on the injury report, so a couple pretty key pieces there. I mean, Nembhard, he is going to be listed as questionable with that knee injury, so we really don't know for sure if he's going to be in this game. He played only 5 minutes on Wednesday. They're calling it left knee tendonitis, so yeah, we'll see. He could definitely be out for this game. Miles Turner is dealing with an ankle injury. He's questionable for this game as well. I mean, we'll see if he comes back. He got ruled out of their last game, so we'll see if he's able to play in this one against the Pelicans. It's going to be kind of a big deal if he can't go, so we'll see what they can do out there. Obviously, that win, a lot of the credit for it over the win over the Celtics goes to Siakam for hitting that, late shot, and yeah, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. He posted a +5 out there and scored 29 points, so very good stuff from him. Halliburton had 12 assists and 17 points in the game, but it was only 2 of 10 from three-point range. Just in general, the Pacers shot 15 of 38 from 3, so, pretty good stuff overall. A lot of that goes to Siakam, who is 6 of 8 from long distance. Not the kind of shooting that you would say is exactly sustainable for them. They did out-rebound Boston, so that's a good look for sure. 57 to 51 there on the boards in that overtime game. So we'll see what the Pacers can do here as they go on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans, who come into this game 2-3 on the season. They are fresh off of a 104 to 89 loss against the Warriors. They lost both games of that little mini series there at the Chase Center. They've now lost 3 in a row, a loss at Portland, and then those 2 losses at Golden State. They get to go back home now to play the Pacers. The Pelicans come into this one with the opposite of a clean bill of health, guys. We got CJ McCullough Herm Jones, Daniel Tice, Jordan Hawkins, who's been playing great this season, all on the injury report. So we'll see who of, if any of those guys are actually going to be able to play in this game. Hawkins, he's questionable for this one with lower back spasms, so that can knock you out of a game, no doubt about that. Tice is questionable with an ankle. I kind of expect him to be ready to go. Herbert Jones, he's not going to be playing in this game, and that is a big deal. He's a big part of what they're trying to do on defense. And we see CJ McCollum with a thigh injury. He is also not going to be playing in this game. So yeah, the Pelicans going to be at far from full strength. They're going to be relying almost exclusively here on Zion and Brandon Ingram to make up effectively their entire offensive output. Is that something these two guys can do? Maybe, but I don't love it, guys. I really don't love it. And I haven't loved, generally speaking, what I've seen from the Pelicans so far this season. So looking at the numbers, seeing New Orleans getting 3.5 points at home, that makes plenty of sense to me. We got an over-under out there of 234.5. The Pacers 3-2 against the spread, 3-2 to the over. New Orleans 1-4 against the spread and 3-2 to the over themselves. Guys, I'm going to be on the Pacers in this game at -3.5, despite the fact they're playing on the road, which normally isn't the major strength of this team, and they are coming off of a they could be in a letdown spot coming off a big win there against the Celtics, but I think they find a way to get a comfortable 4 or more point win in this game. In terms of the over/under of 234.5, seems like a big number to me, especially given that I don't think New Orleans is going to score a ton, so I would probably shade just a little bit here towards the under, but definitely liking the Pacers here at -3.5. In our second nationally televised game of the day, we've got the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves on ESPN. The Nuggets, they're 2-2 on the season, guys. They've won 2 games in a row, but they were both nail biters, and they were both against teams that are going to miss the playoffs there in the Eastern Conference. So a 144-139 win there at Brooklyn, not really going to be making me super stoked. We see Aaron Gordon here on the injury list there for the Nuggets. He comes into this game technically listed as probable with a bruised right knee, so I expect him to be out there. He's going to be out there the vast majority of the time, so I'm expecting him to play, but it's at least worth noting there. Jokic comes into this game playing out of his mind, 29 points, 16 assists, and 18 rebounds, and that's what it took for his team to get a overtime win over the Brooklyn Nets, guys. Things are looking rough out there for Denver. They're not having a good time. Michael Porter Jr. did step up a little bit. Murray shot the ball quite a bit better. As a team, they shot 48.1% from three-point range. Obviously, not sustainable. We saw Westbrook scored 22 points off the bench. Some, regression there in terms of his terrible shooting numbers. Got a lot better. 10 of 10 from the line, 2 of 2 from 3. He shot the ball much better, but also much better than you can expect him to shoot on a regular basis. So we'll see what they can get done. I mean, Aaron Gordon had a big game as well, but these are not sustainable numbers here for this Denver Nuggets team. They're not going to be scoring the ball like that against real opponents, and a real opponent is what they're going to be facing in this game as they go on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are 2-2 on the season. They're not having an easy time necessarily, not really having an easy time at all, but they are in a little bit of a bounce back spot after a rough loss there against Dallas, losing 120-114. Their 2 wins this season were relatively, I guess that win over Toronto wasn't that close, but it was a bit more competitive of a game than I would have expected, and then a 2-point win there over Sacramento. So we'll see what they can do, what kind of bounce back they've got in their system. In terms of their injury report, there's very little to look at, guys. They have a clean bill of health, so that means a lot, even here in the early goings this season. In their loss there against the Mavs, not a ton of amazing things to report. Anthony Edwards continues to ball out, but without some help there, it's going to be a little bit rough. Julius Randle scored 20 points, but also posted a -4 ±. He went 3 of 3 from long range, not something you can really count on him to do. This bench continues to look a little bit mediocre. DiVincenzo just cannot find his shot right now. Naz Reid shot the ball a bit better, so that's a positive development. And he had 9 rebounds, something they definitely need him to do. Yeah, guys, they won the rebounding battle. They shot 48.7% from three-point range, only 65% from the line, and they lose the game by 6 points. So got to be a little bit demoralizing here. Definitely, something of a bounce back spot for them, as Minnesota is -4 for this game. We've got an over-under of 220.5 in this one. Denver 0-4 against the spread this season, 2-2 to the over-under. Minnesota 1-3 against the spread and 2-2 to the over-under themselves. Guys, I think this is a good spot to take the Minnesota Timberwolves here at -4. Denver is just not a good team right now. They are barely sneaking past terrible opponents. The idea is that the Timberwolves were a team designed to beat the Denver Nuggets, and I don't know if that 100% holds true now after all of their changes, but I do think we're going to see Minnesota come out on top in this game pretty comfortably. I don't think we're going to see very much good stuff there from Jamal Murray. Rudy Gobert can at least make Jokic have to work a little bit, and even if he's putting up these insane insane numbers, they are barely beating terrible opponents. So definitely give me the Timberwolves here at -4. In terms of that over-under of 220.5, I'm going to lean just a little bit here towards the over. I think we'll see enough offense to make that happen. Both teams like the 3-ball. Neither team can really defend at an elite level right now, at least it doesn't feel like. So definitely give me a good hard look at that to over 220.5 as well. Last but not least, guys, we're looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road here to take on the Portland Trailblazers. The Thunder come into this game 4-0 in the season, so playing great. Their last time out, they got a 105-93 win there over the San Antonio Spurs. It's not like the Thunder have really played the toughest schedule so far, and obviously this game against Portland doesn't really, make the schedule that much tougher, but they've been taking care of business, and take care of business they did there against the Spurs. We did see Wemby only get 6 points in that game. They really held him in check. Chet Holmgren having a nice game there as well. 19 points, 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 3 from three-point range. He did have 5 turnovers in the game, something to address for sure, but when you've got SGA out there putting up 20 very easy points, and yeah, Dort shot the ball well. The Thunder shot over 40% from three-point range, so that's got to feel nice. They did lose the rebounding battle pretty heavily there, so that's something to be aware of, but they only had 10 turnovers in the game, and they forced 22 turnovers there from the Spurs. So obviously very good stuff there from Oklahoma City, who comes into this game with a clean bill of health, so that's going to feel good. Obviously it's not great to not have Hartenstein and to not have Jalen Williams, but they've got Jalen Williams, so they should be fine out there, and generally speaking, we've loved what we've seen from Holmgren, so things definitely pointed in the right direction for the Thunder as they go on the road here to take on the Portland Trailblazers, who are 2-3 on the season. Honestly, a little bit better than I would have expected. They're coming off of a nice 1-point win there at the Clippers, so good stuff there from Portland. Obviously, got to be pretty pumped about that. We saw good stuff from Anthony Simons in that win. We saw Scoot Henderson continue to play well. 14 points off the bench from him, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from distance. That's a big deal. He also had 6 assists out there and only 3 turnovers, so very good stuff for Scoot Henderson. Portland shot 42.4% from long range in that game. They, they were basically even on the boards there with the Clippers, so that's got to feel good. They did a great job of limiting Harden. They did a great job there against Zubac, which is impressive. Yeah, just a very good game out there from Portland, a team that's not supposed to compete this season, but they are kind of competing right now. So we'll see what they're able to do here at home against, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Portland's getting 11.5 points in this game. We've got an over-under of 220.5. The Thunder, they're 3-1 against the spread. They are 3-1 to the under. Portland 3-1-1 against the spread and 3-2 to the under as well. Yeah, a total here of 220.5 does seem pretty low given, what you would expect generally from these two teams, but they've been playing some lower scoring games. I do think you could probably interest me just a little bit in that under. Portland's kind of defending right now. It's kind of weird. The Thunder, I don't know how seriously they're going to take this game coming off of a big, kind of emotional win there over San Antonio. So that makes me want to side a little bit here towards the Blazers getting 11.5 points at home. Is this one of my favorite plays of the day? I cannot say that it is, but I definitely think that's the side you want to be on in terms of, an against the spread play. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.